have to blow my nose. Go.
You can't. Right, ready? Okay, so we're live. Welcome back to the Magic Mind podcast. What?
I didn't do the sound check yet. I have to do a sound check.
What? Right, go on, sound check.
Okay, sound check. Here we go. Tricycles, bicycles, testing, 1, 2, testicles.
Done?
Yeah.
All checked?
All checked.
Okay, you're watching and listen.
Ma.
Listen.
I didn't do your intro music.
I have intro music.
No. This is better intro music. It's much better than yours.
Jesus Christ.
Yours is brutal.
Brutal, go on.
Mine is brilliant. You ready?
Ready. Absolutely, you're right. That's a lot better. Just be careful of the words now. We don't pull us apart. Okay, so let's go. You're watching and listen.
I didn't cue you in. I have to cue you in.
Right. Cue me in.
All right. Are you ready? Here we go. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Cue me.
Yes. Okay, so you are live and you're watching and listening to the Liberties #1 podcast. Yup the Liberties, yup the Flats. On the show today, I am joined, and you'll join me in a second, I hope, is the wonderful, the talented, the crazy Johnie K. Johnny, welcome to the podcast.
How's it going, folks? You all right there? Matt, thanks very much for bringing me along here. Ow. Excuse me, Matt, that's sitting on me balls. That hurt. Anyway, how's it going?
Johnie K.
Nice to meet you. All right, guys. All right, folks. How are you out there in Cod Pass land? He's a Cod Pastor. Yeah, and he's doing the Cod Past. And he's doing it live, right? This is the Cod Past, and I'm getting Cod Pasted.
You are again. A strange place to keep your balls.
Yeah. Well, therefore, I juggled them, you see, and I put them in my pocket. I forgot I put them in my pocket. Made the balls of that.
Guys, I've asked Johnny to come on the show. I've seen some of his work. He was recommended by my pal Frank.
Oh, Frank, yeah, good out, Frank, yeah.
Frank.
That was Frank. Big shout out to Frank. Thanks very much, Frank.
Big shout out to Frank.
Lovely
Frank has been such
And of course, his lovely Ruski wife, lovely woman, I can't remember the woman's name. What's her name again? She's lovely.
I can't think of her name. She's a Russian lady.
She's lovely. I was wondering if she had any sisters.
Darren,
that's it.
Darren is his wife.
Couldn't remember.
There you go. Frank, look, thanks very much for all the work and all the kindness and all the help you give me with the Magic Mind podcast. You've recommended some amazing people, and no doubt and no pressure, we have the wonderful Johnny. I've asked Johnny to come on the show. Yeah, Johnny is a professional clown, and behind the smile there's a story. And we're all about inspiration, and I've looked at some of Johnny's work, and I'm hugely inspired by the work, the human he is, the struggle he's had, the humanitarian, the impact he's had around the world from the early 80s right up to today. So look, Johnny, thanks for coming on the show. It's absolutely fantastic. How are you doing?
Well, I'm grand, top of the morning.
Yeah?
Yeah, I'll be alright when the pain goes though.
The which?
The pain. I'll be alright when the pain goes.
What pain?
I'm grand.
So how's life it?
Life's good, life is very good. Had a lovely spiritual uplifting kind of thing there a couple of weeks ago. Just from reading a book.
Yeah?
It's amazing what you can read in books. What's the book there? Look. It's called A Message for Humanity. Amazing book. I think you might be bringing the person.
Yeah, we're gonna have a chat about
have
this.
her on. Sorry, Kelly. She's fantastic.
And that has had an impact on you.
Oh, big impact, yeah. I've been a big drinker all my life, and I didn't give it up for the mother of my child. I didn't give it up for other important people in my life. I didn't get up for myself. But I got into that book, a few pages in, voice comes into my head and says, would you give up the drink for the love of God? And I said out loud, I certainly will. And I did. I haven't touched a drop now in 7 days. But I don't feel the need for a drink. I don't know, but it's a very, very powerful book. Really got to me. And it's definitely worth a read if you're a spiritual person and you like angels. Because it's all about God's angels and find your way back to God.
Okay.
Really good.
Absolutely.
Now, I'm not a religious person or anything like that, you know what I mean? way back in the 80s, I had a spiritual rebirth, you know. Now, most people think that when that happens to you, you're a born-again Christian. But that's not right. Everybody has the capacity to do this. It seems that organised religion seems to have a monopoly on this born-again thing. But I'm not a religious person, never was. In fact, I rebelled against the Catholic Church from very young by the way I was treated. Okay. And, you know, I'm not a born-again Christian, but I do, you know, I've nothing against organised religions. It's just not for me, that's all. You know what I mean?
Come here, would it be all right if we go right back, you know, before you got into becoming a clown? Tell us about life growing up. Where did you grow up? I know you're from the flats. You up the flats?
You up the flats, you up the flats, you up the flats, you up the flats, you up the flats. Brilliant, that, brilliant. Yeah. Actually, we had the, you know, the round tower stairways.
Yeah.
Yeah, that they have in the flats. There's two of those blocks up in Beach Hill in Donnybrook, Dublin 4. Now, Dublin 4 is quite a wealthy place, you know. But back in the early 50s, when like your family were probably moved here to the Liberties, were they? Back in the 50s, so long as here now.
This is my nanny's old flat. My dad lived here.
Right.
His brothers lived here. My mom's from Crumlin, but yeah, they moved here.
But they come out of the tenements, yeah?
Yeah.
Right, my mum, my dad, and my grandparents come out. They come, my ma come out of Lad Lane, the tenements there, and my outfit from Sean McDermott Street, out of the tenements there. And they were given a house by the corporate because corporate were building new estates and stuff, you know, all over Ballyfermot, Crumlin, Coolock, and all of that. But we ended up in Beach Hill in Donnybrook, Dublin 4. And as a teen growing up, I was a bit of a goodier, you know. But when I met some inner city goodiers, so I'd never tell them I was from Donnybrook because it was too posh. They call you a poshy, you know what I mean? So I'd say I was from Bonnybrook, not Donnybrook. You know what I mean? Because they see you as a middle class or a poshy, whatever, you know. But I learned a lesson there, yeah. We got a hard upbringing, yeah. We did goodiers. We would go out and liberate anything that was there, you know what I mean? They call it robbing, but we call it liberating. We'd liberate. We had loads of factories around us. There was chivers, jellies and jams, you know. We had Johnston Mooney and O'Brien's, the bakers, you know, so we'd be able to liberate cakes and bread and all that. We had bowlings. We had a scrapyard, Scully scrapyards on the River Dodder, yeah, in Milltown. And we get into that scrapyard and we get the wheels of cars, like Morris Minors or Volkswagens, and we turn them upside down and put them on the Dodder and we draft. Use them as rafts. Great crack. But then again, you're made to be on the banks throwing bleeding rocks at you and sink it. You know what I mean? But great crack. Brilliant. Yeah, I got into trouble young because my outfit was an awful beast of a man. He very abusive, very abusive, physically abusive to all of us and my mother, and he was an awful man, he was, yeah. But although I had a terrible time in the house with him, he was a nasty individual. Outside with the mates, you know what I mean, running around, brilliant crack, really nice. But I got into trouble young, and I got into drugs young.
What age?
Well, when we were from the age of 11,
same as myself.
We were taking fire extinguishers out of the buses in Donnybrook bus garage. They had these green little fires on there. There was some kind of gas in them when you released them, and you poured it onto a hanky and sniffed it. You hallucinate. So I was hallucinating with most of the kids around Beach Hill from the age of 11 up to the age of 15.
We used to do Tifex tinners.
Right, yeah, that.
Same
we
thing.
had these fire extinguishers, mental stuff. But we only stopped because one of the mates died. He was 14 years of age and he went into a fit, swallowed his tongue and choked to death right in front of us. And we were laughing at him because we were all out of our bickies. There's a tattoo on my arm there in memory of Dixie. I felt very guilty, and that was my first tattoo. I got it in Johnie Eagles, top of Cable Street there.
Johnie Eagles, fuck me, I haven't heard that name in a long time.
And yeah, in there, and I got that. I felt terribly guilty, you know, about Dixie. He was a lovely young fella, but brown bread at 14 years of age. And at the inquest, the judge said it was misadventure. You know what I mean? Misadventure. When, you know, there was no security guards in the garage and stuff. We used to run in there. But anyway, after that, I got into a bus with the key was in it. I started the engine up and it started shunting and moving. And I jumped off and it shunted across the road and crashed into the Dodder wall, right? And was hanging over the edge like that. But And then another night some buses caught him for, I don't know how they, you know, but yeah, it's very sad. Like, she was a lovely young fella and didn't deserve to die like that.
Yeah.
But that's what they got George called it, misadventure. So just got into burglary then, robbing cars, joyriding, and I got 6 months in Pats. And that was my first term. And there's a rite of passage when you arrive in Pats, you know. You get approached by guys say, now you have to have your Borstal mark. You know, it's a little dot they put on you. It's a rite of passage for any con when you win, you know. But mine is there on my arm here. Yeah, see there. Because a lot of guys, it's very stupid. Because this is a sign of criminality. It's a mark of criminality. And they put it here on their faces. Or they put it here on their thumb there maybe. Or they have 4 of them here. 1, 2, 3, 4 little dots like that. Which stands for all coppers are bastards, you know. Now, the coppers are not stupid. They know what that means, you know. And they know what that means. They put it up here. When they see that mark on you, oh, you're a marked man. You know, it's the Borstal mark. And, yeah. They don't leave you alone once they know you. Once they see that mark, you know.
And how old were you when you first went to Pats?
17. Yeah.
Is it a juvenile centre? Wasn't it?
Yeah. It's a boy. It's Borstal for 16 to 18-year-olds, and when you're 18, you're sent into the joy.
Oh, joy. What was your experience in Pats like? Rough?
Pats. That was only a young fella, you know. I was 17. I tried to join the army, and I was only 5'1", and I had to be 5'2". So for ages I was hanging out with goalposts. I had my mates trying to stretch me. It was playing mad.
Are you serious?
Yeah, going up to Cattle Brewer. Every week I was going up to Cattle Brewer barracks, and they'd measure me. No, not today, Cabinet. No, off you go. You're only 5'1.5". Oh, but Jesus, like, you know. I think them squaddies were taking bets and stuff, because come in again. Here he is, Harry. And then one day they went, oh, come on, you little beauty, 5'2". In you go. So then I had to do the medical, right? I thought, this is great, I'm going to be in the army now. But when I found out about the medical, they do an eye test, an ear test, and they grab your balls and make you cough. Now, I could cough. There's no problem there, you know what I mean? And I can see perfectly. But I'm wanting deaf in one ear. I'm deaf in my right ear. Can't hear a thing because I fell off the pram sheds. Up the sheds! Fell off the pram sheds when I was 9 years of age, and I burst my eardrum. Yeah? And I had to learn to walk again because my balance was all gone.
Yeah.
You know, man, had to wear the lead weight belt here. Lead weights on a belt. So that, you know, I could stand straight and I wouldn't go, whoa, you know, mad, mental. So, I'm sitting in the waiting room in Cattle Brewer barracks, and the guys are in seeing the doctor. He says to one of the guys when he's coming out, what's he doing there? He feels your balls, makes you cough. And then he does the eye chart. And then he gets behind you and he sticks a finger in one ear and he says a number. What number did he say? I think he said 63. Yeah. And then he takes that finger out and he sticks it in the other ear. And then he says another number. I said, what then? And he said 42. I said 62, 42, right. Fair enough. Next guy to come out, I asked him the same thing and he said the same numbers. 62 and 48. Right. So I went in there, I done the eye test, did the coughing, and then he gets behind me and thank God, he stuck his finger in this ear first, and I plainly heard him say 62. And I just said 62. Then he put his finger in this ear, I couldn't hear the bleeding thing. I was button Jeff, couldn't hear the thing, and I just waited a second. I went 42, 48, or whatever the number was. 48. And he took his finger out, okay, off you go. And I was in. I got in. Man, it was brilliant. It was fantastic, right? And then they put me on a truck, and we went to Euston Station, and they put me on a train there with the lads. Couple of lads from Ballyfermot, mad heads, lovely lad. Down to Cork, and a truck there in Cork Station picked us up, an army truck, and brought us to Ballincollig, Murphystown Barracks in Ballincollig, County Cork. And out with the truck, we all jumped out of the truck and line up there. And this guy was shouting and screaming at us and pulling us to stand up straight and you, and he's looking at me and I go, and he's screaming and shouting. I couldn't understand a blade word he was saying. You know what? He was screaming at us in Gaelic. Now, I never learned Irish in school. I never learned that in school, come to think of it. But he was speaking in Irish. We didn't understand a blade word he was saying, you know. So we marched off, had to go and then get kitted out. You get a mattress for your bed. And then you get your uniform. They wouldn't give me a uniform. I didn't get a uniform. I got nothing but abuse because I was too small and skinny. I was really small and skinny, right? Guess what my nickname was? Mousy. Mousy Cabinet, right? Very small and skinny. And I steps up, the corporal looks at the sergeant and says, hey Sarge, what are we going to do with this fella here? Will I go into town and get an action man uniform? That might fit him. That's what he said, I swear on that, right? So I was there 2 weeks. I never got as much as a uniform. I couldn't train with the other lads because they had their uniforms. So the feckers made me sweep floors and light fires and all the billets, you know? And that was crazy. Then we were playing football one night in the gym, and shins and ankles were getting kicked more than the ball. You know what I mean? And I got a normal kick in the shin and the ankle, taken over to the medic. And I was lying on the bed, and he's fixing me up, and then he's writing out his report. And he's talking away to me. But he's over here. We can't hear the bleeding what he's saying. And he said, hang on a second, come over. And he stuck his finger to me left there, and he started talking to me. And he said, now what did I say? I said, I don't know. I'm definitely right here. Out. I was gone the next morning on the train to Dublin. They threw me out, and that's when I started getting into the criminality and robbing and blah blah. So when I was banged up in Pats, I was with young fellas the same age as me. They were also robbers and all of that. So it was great, you know. It was really. It didn't feel like I was being punished. Put it that way. You know what I mean? It was great cracking the camaraderie with all the lads, and you're one of them, you know. Plus, yeah. It's like a skill as well, you know. If you commit a crime and you got caught for it, they'll teach you how to commit a better next one. Right, you know what I mean? Yeah. No, don't lie. You know. So it's a good skill like that. So I done 3 months in Pats, and then I got sent over to Shanganagh, which is in Shankhill.
It's an open prison,
isn't it? Yeah, the open prison there. They make all the, or grow potatoes and tomatoes, mushrooms for all the prisons in order. Yeah. So that's what I was on that, picking tomatoes and stuff like that. And yeah, I ran out there myself and another fella from English. We decided to go down to the off license. Collected some money off the lads, and we snuck out down to the off license to get some flaggings, right? So we got 3 of them. But the guy in the shop in the off license, he took his time with us. You know, we only had coppers for to pay for the flaggings, and we only had enough for 2. We wanted to get 3. So we said, yeah, all right, yeah. And he goes, I have to get some paper. While he was out there, he was bringing the police, which we didn't know, you know, because we're wearing prison issue clothes. You know, grey jumper and the grey flag. He recognised us straight away, the boy in the off license. Fucking out was trying on it. So he rings the old bill. But we're out there, and we're in the grounds of Shankhill Church. It's in the middle of the road. When you come out of Shankhill, there's the road down to Dunleary, and there's the road into town, you know. So we're in the buses playing. These buses are going by, loads of schoolgirls, 15, 16-year-old schoolgirls, shouting out the window. And Blackie is, Blackburn his name was, but I can call him Blackie. Blackie's got, oh, Mousy, that's it, I'm out of here, I'm not going back. I said, jeez, Blackie, don't let me go back to me out. No, back up, I'm going to see me girlfriend. So we ran off, jumped over the bus, jumped onto the bus, and fecked off. So I went back, and horse from the screws home. Gavin, where were you? I made up a story that I was in the bushes with my girlfriend who only lives down the road. No, you weren't in the bushes, says the governor. You were down in the off licence getting flaggings of cider. No, I wasn't. Where's Blackmore? I said, I don't know. Look, you were in the off licence. Didn't the man who owns the off licence ring us? And he also rang the Gardaí. You were in there, Boyneside. So where's Blackburn? He got on a bus to Bray. He meant to get away though, you know. And I lost 4 days remission, which is nothing. It's absolutely nothing. And then Blackmore came back the next morning, handcuffed behind his back in the back of a police car. They collected the stuff, back into the car, back to the Joy, you know. So I could have been sent back to the Joy, but I wasn't because I came back. So, but it wasn't long till I was in the Joy, and that's a step up. In fact, in my memoirs, I actually say, you know, into the Joy, I was glad to graduate. That maybe it's really stupid, but that's macho bullshit, you know.
That's the ego,
yeah. The ego, that's it, really macho, you know. Being one of the lads, you know. But I done 3 terms in Pats, and it was the last one that was it, started getting to me. I was still on the heroin then, banging up.
When did you start heroin? What
year was that? 78, 79. 1978 or 79.
And you started
79.
smoking and then moved on to
No, straight in.
Straight on to
Yeah, a mate come back from, he was out somewhere, he was over the north side, he came out, back, I'm after getting some skag. So what's that, so he put it in the, the way they put it in the spoon,
works.
and the works, and the filter in there, and then, so I'd no problem going, here, me first, go for it, It's really serious, I hadn't smoked before, and I'm sitting on a stool, no back on it. I remember pulling the plunger out and my blood all going into it, and then he pushed it in. Right backwards off the chair, off the stool, like boom. Didn't feel a thing, didn't even feel hitting the floor, like boom. That was it. It was in that world of mad, yeah, crazy.
You say it's like a warm hug.
Yeah, it's a lie, it's a big lie. It fools you, completely fools you. It is a harbinger of death.
So you started taking heroin in the end of 70s, 80s?
Yeah, early 80s.
And there was
more than heroin. We were robbing doctors' surgeries. We getting any kind of pills and tablets, taking all sorts. Petadine. There were so many different pills you got. Plus, you get the prescription pads.
Yeah.
Once you get them, then you give it to one of the other heads, one of the clever heads, or one of the con men. Who knows what they're doing. They can write out a script like a doctor. Doctors writing that out. So. And they could get what they want with these scripts. So they were great to get, because not only could you get free drugs with them, you can sell them to guys who know how to use them, So you'd make money and drugs out of the prescription pads. And I remember once we took loads of amps in a cabinet. And then when they were running out, I picked up one, adrenaline. That sounds like really speedy or whatever, doesn't it? Oh, giving that a go. Pumped it into my leg. Oh my God. My heart, my whole chest went up there. Every drop of blood left from every vein, and just soared. That's what it felt like. Soared towards my heart. Oh, it was horrible. And my hair I turned grey the next day. Not all grey, patches of grey in my head. It was about 21. Yeah. So, I'd had enough of the prison, but I got caught again, And no fucking way, I'm not going back. There's no way I'm going back to the joy. Absolutely not, So out and about in Dublin, you heard that story, you saw my documentary where my girlfriend's mother dragged her away from me in the street.
You were going out with this girl?
Yeah, we were living in a flat.
And she was from a more affluent area, wasn't she?
Yeah, well, she was from, she was indeed, yeah. And, we're a middle class family.
Yeah, she doesn't need to be with the likes of you.
No, absolutely not. No, she didn't, no. So her mother did the right thing and dragged her away from me in the street and spit on me in the face. You get back in the gutter where you belong. Which was just, did something, tried to kill myself after she said that.
Did you?
Yeah, I did. I ran into a wall, boom, blood coming out. Oh, my nose is running. And I ran into a wall, had blood all down my face, and then I ran towards the beach, towards the cliffs in Shankill. Funny enough, a few years before I'd ran that way when we were escaping, coming out of prison to get the cider.
Yeah.
We passed them cliffs. So I'm there back on the cliffs. It's in the back of the open prison. I don't know how I found myself there, I just ran. And this is a fact, like, I couldn't explain my book because I was out of my head on gear. But today, and having read this book about guardian angels, I leaned off that cliff so far I should have fell. I should have fallen. In the end, that was it, I'm going. But there was a hand pushed me back. I don't know what it was, but that's what I felt. Boom. Now I didn't write that in my book because when I was writing that, I didn't really believe in angels. You know what I mean? I thought, I was stupid, I was on drugs, I just imagined that. But I didn't imagine it. There was a bleeding hand that pushed me back onto the ground, and then I collapsed on the ground, and it was a bit of a nervous breakdown, freaked, and crawled back to my brother's house where I was staying out in Shankill. And next morning, bang on the door. Oh fuck, it's the pigs. Wasn't. It was my girlfriend's mother again. No, I was even more afraid of her than I was of the police.
Oh, really?
Skinny little little one. And Lord, being petrified of her. So she comes in the door, starts screaming up, you, come here, you. There's £40 in that envelope. You get on the boat, the one living at Dunleary, get on it. So I come to the police station now. I'm tell them where you were. Oh, he was gone. Gone. Onto the boat and down to London. And once I was in London, I was out of the vicious circle. So I had time to think. And I stopped taking the heroin. Got into sulfate, speed. And really good weed. You couldn't get good weed in Dublin back in them days, but in London, holy God. And there's another thing. Seeing the amount of different cultures was amazing arriving in London. All different cultures, black, brown, yellow, green, whatever, all the cultures of the human race were all there in one street. I'm looking down there with the bus at them and I go, oh my God. And the colours, it's just amazing. Because Ireland back then was still very xenophobic, really, you know what I mean? Yeah. So, I woke up in London by a book, I was given a book called Bring Out the Magic in Your Mind. Magic Minds! Yup. And Bring Out the Magic, it's by Al-Quran. It's a fantastic book. It taught me about love and beauty and respect. And it just opened the fire in me, just whoa. And within 6 months of reading that book, I auditioned with 250 others for a place in the first College for Clowns in Great Britain. And that was held at the Blackpool Tower Circus. 250 auditioned, they picked 10 out of that 200. It was like a bleeding X Factor back in 1985, right?
Here, where did the clown thing, why did you decide to go clown?
Oh, right, yeah, sorry, you skipped a bit there, yeah. Okay, the story was the girlfriend that was talked about, whose mother dragged me away, she came when I left for London. She was so in love with me, she ran away from home, came to join me on her 18th birthday, so she could, Yeah. And we lived together for 2 years, and on the 29th of February 1984, she says to me, Johnny, I love you, will you marry me? I laughed in her face. He said, what? I don't want to get married, I'm not interested in getting married. No way. And I went to sleep. When I woke up the next morning, she was sitting on the end of the bed, fully dressed. Her suitcases were there, all packed. And she gave me a kiss on the cheek and she said, goodbye, I don't love you anymore. And she walked out the door. What the? She's serious? I legged her downstairs after out onto the street in me jocks. Begged her down my knees. Anyway, she walked around me and out of me life. That was that, and I had a terrible breakdown. What am I going to do? And I remembered seeing a sign in the window 2 years before. It read M.A. Ghani, psychic astrologer. I remembered it. And I ran all the way down from Streatham down to Tootenbeck in a mad panic looking for that sign in the window, and I found it. And I went up, and there's this little Indian man behind the desk, and he looked like Toad of Toad Hall. He had eyes that one looked that way and that one that way. He didn't look right at you, that way and that way. Me man. And he looked at the form I filled in, and then he looked up at me, but he was looking at me or not, I don't know. And he said, John Patrick Kavanagh, I don't like you. You are a thief and a liar. And I freaked him. Who that? I didn't know whether to jump over there and throttle him till his pop eyes popped out or something. But I couldn't. I just wept. Just felt, wow. Oh. And he said, you're not a good person. And, it hit me. What he was telling the truth. And then I started weeping and shaking and spluttering. And he went, you're a Piscean, Mr. Kavanagh. Now, Pisces is very, 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 yeah. And he got up and he started taking books out of his shelves, opened them up, and go, Pisces, yeah, like March 5th. Oh, yeah. Do you know what, Mr. Kavanagh? Now, I can't help you, but you can help you. Would you like to be a good man? Do you like yourself? Do you love yourself? No, I don't know. Oh. Well, you can become a good person. You can really become a good person. Now, it doesn't take religion or anything. You can do this for yourself. That's all you have to do. You know, change your ways. He said, here, look. And he wrote down, and he gave me this name of a book, which is called Bring Out the Magic in Your Mind. He said, read that. Come back and see me next week. I got the book, read it, and it lit a fire under my arse. Within 3 months, I was a different person, you know. I completely changed my ways, like I'm born again. That's the feeling, you're born again. It's quite amazing. And not in the religious sense, again, not like the Christian. Like I said to you, when that happened to me, my mates would be saying to me, they'd say to me, you're born again Christian, Mousy. I say, no, I'm not a born again Christian. If you call me that again, I'll bleed crucify you. Oh, God bless you. So no, it wasn't. It's a natural phenomenon that happens to people when they repent and they give up. You know, that's what I feel. They give up their badness and madness. You know, and project love to your fellow human beings. So that worked for me, and I was brilliant at it. You know, so I had a new girlfriend who was absolutely stunning, and then one English guy says, "Hey, John, you're very funny, mate. Do you remember that monologue you did at the party that was really funny, mate. It was really, you should be a stand-up comedian, mate. You should, what are you talking about?" He said, no, I'm serious, because one night at a party I did this monologue, very funny monologue. Well, you actually appeared in the Stardust Club before it burnt down, yeah, at a talent competition. And also, here's another thing about the Stardust, it's in my book. When I was in the Joy, on Valentine's Day, my girlfriend came in at the time, went bananas at me, you know, and fucked her sister, so she blew down my life, you know. So I was in my cell, I was cutting my wrist, and then on the radio, the DJ, screaming his head off. He's watching the people born in the Stardust. And then the whole Joy went bananas. There's lots of the heads in there. I listened to Radio Dublin, and I don't know if you've ever heard those, you know, those reports of that night the Stardust went up for. Horrendous, absolutely horrendous. And loads of guys did have family and members in there, probably girlfriend, brothers, and they were going bananas in their cells. Next morning, they were was locked down. You could hear people calling over the walls, "Your sister's still missing," stuff like this. Horrible. We went through that night in the start, and to be just locked up in a cell and so powerless, and thinking about your loved one in the Stardust fire at that time, you know, trapped as well, you know. Loads of guys that had family there were dragged out of their cells the next morning and put in choky and put on suicide watch, you know. That was a horrendous night. That was. Sorry, a nasty memory, but it stopped me killing myself. And I know you never heard so many fire engines and sirens as that night. The whole city was just one huge orchestra of sirens. Sirens. Yeah. And God bless you, the families that had relatives there, because it's still smouldering, that fire. It's never been. Yeah. Sorry, go on.
Go on, and you were saying, so you done a monologue, and that led you on.
Yeah. I started doing stand-up comedian and stand-up in talent competitions in London in pubs, because they pay like £100 for the winner, £50 for second, and £25 for third. So I started doing that monologue. I started doing it, and had my stage name. Johnie Crystal was my stage name, and where that name came from my birth. We used to play games saying, "Oh, when I'm growing up, I'm going to go to Hollywood and I'm going to be called Johnie Crystal." I used to say shit like that. But yeah, call myself Johnie Crystal, and then I started winning the talent competitions. I was up, came second, came third. The first time I came third, the guy that came first, his name was Michael Barrymore. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, and the ones that came second were Pearly King and Queens, you know. Knees up, Mama Brown.
Yeah.
So then I started coming second, then I started coming first. And then one night, and then an entertainment agent come over to me, gave me his card. His name was Victor Seaford. And he said, "Like your stuff." He said, "I could get you some stand-up work, entertaining senior citizens in town halls and bingo halls and stuff like that." Great stuff. So that's where I started. Hornsey Rise. Hornsey Rides. So there's a place in London, and I was in the town hall. That was my first professional gig. I got 25 quid for 8 minutes, or 3 minutes, on the stage. Big velvet curtains, spotlight on me. It was amazing. But I puked up before I went on stage with the nerves. But as soon as I got on stage, it was grand, no problem. So then I went on we're having an agent. I got an equity card, joined British Equity, and then I thought I'd go into the alternative comedy clubs. So I did. I started working with the likes of Paul Merton, Eddie Izzard, Lee Evans. When I saw Lee Evans, I thought, I'm in the wrong business. He was 18 or 19 at the time when I saw him, and he was just phenomenal. Like Norman Wisdom on acid, you know. He was mental, fantastic. I said, I was really thinking, like, oh my God, if this is the future, what am I doing, you know? But I was still funny. I was doing good gigs, and then the girlfriend said to me, she saw something in the newspaper, clowns wanted. No experience necessary. Write to a PO box. That's all. And she said, look, this is for you. Clowns, you should be a clown. What you gonna piss off? Me, a clown? Don't insult me. And I felt she was insulting me, asking me to be a clown. You know, go for it. Get lost, no way. I'm not interested. So a week later, she comes running into the bedroom with a big letter, screaming her head off. She hadn't forgot about the audition. She wrote for the audition on my behalf, you know? I'd forgotten all about it. And she's waving the letter around. She said, look, oh my God, it's the Blackpool Tower Circus. It's the best circus in Britain. She'd gone there as a child and knew Blackpool, and, you know. And it is the biggest and best circus. All the acts are Guinness World Record holders. You know, I mean, they're the best of the best. And she starts telling me about, you know, the Tower Circus and what it's like. And I'm going, okay. And she asked me, who's your favourite comedians here in England? I went, well, Freddie Starr, Les Dawson, Bruce Forsyth. She said, them three play every year, every summer, they play Blackpool. That's how big Blackpool is. You know, it's the entertainment capital of Great Britain. So she hooked me up, and I thought, okay, I'll go and do the audition. Friday the 13th of September, 1985. I arrived from Blackpool. And I'm looking up at the tower. Well, that's amazing. That's amazing. I hear all these ding, 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 ding. Oh, what's that? And I turned around with a bleeding tram. Electric tram heading for me. I was on the tracks. Standing in the tracks. I jumped off the tracks onto the ground. Holy shit. And the tram is flown by a West Indian woman driving the tram. Shouts out the window at me, "You stupid bloody clown!" I hadn't even got into the circus yet. I wasn't even dressed up. Got into the circus. They brought me downstairs. Gave me a number 43. And then they put some makeup on me, you know. Brought me out through the curtains. And I'm in the ring then. I'm in the famous Blackpool Tower ring. There's clowns all over the place. Different sexes and sizes. And there's the judges there, you know, they're on their table in there. And I didn't know I didn't know any clowning. I didn't know what clowns did, but I knew how to talk, to stand in front of a microphone, you know. And that's what I did. And I bought a cup of yogurt, I bought a banana to do my act, to make things funny. And I had the banana in my pocket, and I thought, it's going to break in there, it's going to get squashed. So I took it out, took the banana out, and I put it here, right? And when my number was called, I jumped up and went, bingo! Jumped into the ring, fell down, got back up, went to the microphone. How's it going? How's it going? Do I have to do this now? I was just about to have me lunch. No, a few giggles, you know. And now, I put my hands in my pocket and went, shit. Looking around the floor, couldn't find the banana. I forgot I put it there. Oh, well, you know, I was going to do a trick with a banana, but I can't find it. I think I lost it. It was right there. You could all see it. But I forgot it was there. You were cracked up. They cracked up. And then I said, I think I'll do a couple of impressions for you. And I opened up the yogurt and I said, now this is pickled yogurt. Oh, matron, take it away. Or whatever thing. I did Kenneth Williams. Oh, matron, take them away. Did Mickey Mouse. Oh, Minnie. Did just stupid stuff. But what I wanted to do was be sloppy, and it's all dribbling down my thing, and it's pickled, and I'm making pickled. And that got a laugh. and it also states in the letter from the circus, you must tell the judges why you think you should be picked for the circus, for the College for Clowns. Not one guy out of the 250, not one of them said why they should be picked. I was the only one that took the letter out and said, now, it says here, candidates should take the chance to impress the judges and tell the judges why they should be picked for the College for Clowns. Your honours, when I was a kid, I was thrown out of school for acting the clown. And every job I had since then, I was sacked from for acting the clown. Now you are offering me training to be a clown and a job as one, so that's why I think you should pick me. Thank you. And I walked on. Place lifted. And I was just passing the judges. They were doing this, what? 3 of them were. But the one in the end, Tommy Fossey, giving it all that he was. And every time...
Fawcett Circus.
Yeah, Tommy Fossey. Oh, my God. And it was then after that, I want to be a clown, absolutely. So they picked 10 out of that 250, and then they put the 10 of us together inside the circus and in competition against one another. And we get 1 minute in front of 1,600 people in the afternoon show and then in the evening show. But in the afternoon show, you do something. 1 minute, that's all you get in the ring. And then later on, the second show, you do another minute, but you do something completely different. It was crazy, but I got through it. And I won top of the class, came top of the class, won the contract, and didn't look back. Got my training, my circus training. Spent a year at the circus, but then I couldn't wait to get out of it because it was huge cruelty to animals. The way the animals were treated was sickening, absolutely sickening. Couldn't handle that at all. And,
what do you mean by that? Like, is it okay to talk about that?
Oh yeah, of course, yeah. Okay, day one. This is before the circus starts. It's just the beginning of the season, so everything's in for rehearsals. We're rehearsing the show. We've 2 weeks rehearsals. So they bring in 8 lions, put them in their cages, which I thought was a stupid thing to do because after that they start bringing in the other animals. I don't know why they brought the lions in first. Then you bring in 2 beautiful female elephants. They come back in down, who wouldn't come out of the truck because the lions are in their cages going, oh, the elephants, I got the elephants. And the elephants are in the truck going, oh, there's lions out there, don't bring me out there. And they wouldn't leave the truck. So out came the electric prods, and then they would chain the elephants' feet back and front and zap them. And they still wouldn't back out, and then they got a crowbar and picture the nail's toes. Yeah? See that part there? You see the big nail? They hit it there with the crowbar. Caused excruciating pain. And they backed them out doing that. I'm standing there, I'm fucking shaking, and Norman Barrett, the ringmaster, is looking at me going, get out of here, what are you doing here? Get up there! I swear I was going to jump on him and bite his fucking nose off. It was just, I couldn't, what they were doing was horrible. And they did that and got them elephants in past 8 lions, it was just the noise. They tried to make me box with a kangaroo, the old boxing kangaroo act?
Yeah.
They tried to make me do that. I said, okay, I'll do the rehearsal. Thought nothing of it. It was inside the circus ring, inside a made up boxing ring. And I had big shorts on and silly vest, huge big boxing gloves, all clowned up, grand. So I'm in my corner and they bring in the kangaroo, Sydney they call him, and take his leash off and he's in that corner. Now Johnny, just go into the centre and spar with Sydney. So I go into the centre. Kangaroo comes towards me and he's with boxing gloves on. Mine are huge compared to his. Right, just hit him. I'm not hitting him. I'm not going to hit him. No way, I'm not hitting him. I'm doing a sit-up. Then his little hands went onto my shoulders. And what kangaroos do, this is what they do to each other. They get their hands on, lean back, boom! They kick you with their impressive feet, yeah? That's what they do, that's how they defend themselves. This thing tried to do that, but leaned back in his tail, and then the most horrific scream came out of it. The most horrific wail, because they'd severed its tail, its tendons in its tail, so it couldn't lean back and take the full weight of its body. kick out and defend itself.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. So I pulled, when it screamed, that scream just went through me, and I pulled it. I'm not fucking doing it. Get up! No, I'm not doing it. And they're screaming and shouting, yeah, you have to do the act, you signed the contract. I'm not fucking doing it, I'm telling you now. And I said, well, Johnny, manager's office. Went up to the manager's office, there's the manager. Yeah, he's here now, Peter, he's here, yeah. Peter J, the owner of the circus, he's in the other circus in Yarmouth. They got him on the phone. The Paddy, he's calling me. Yeah, the Paddy's here now. The Paddy won't walk the kangaroo way. I sit there, and he went, he grins at me. Yeah, the boss wants to speak to you. I took the phone, I said, yeah, well, I don't fucking want to speak to him. There you go. Got up, walked out. They couldn't do a thing. I'd signed the contract. They couldn't bully me. You know, I'm brought up the streets of Dublin, bro. You want to fucking bully me? Come. So, they'd stand off with them. They couldn't sack me. They were terrified of the bad publicity. Because I was fucking kangaroo was bad, no? So they let it go. I said, I'm not doing the bleeding act. So I didn't have to do that act. And they said, okay, we have a pygmy hippo. Well, what happens with the pygmy hippo? Well, you see, at the beginning of the show, you have a big box, and you walk around with the big box, and you call, Mr. J, we have a very important package from Africa for Mr. J. You know? And then at the interval, you come out with that same box on wheels. They're identical boxes. We swapped the boxes. And then you pull it out, and you say to the boys and girls, I can't find Mr. J. Will we open the box and see what's inside? And the audience go, yeah. And then you, Johnny, you just pull a string, and when you pull that string, a flap will open, a door will open and fall down. It's a ramp. And then the pygmy hippo will run down the ramp, run around the ring, and out the other side. Okay, rehearsal. No problem. Rehearsal, I pull the string, ramp falls down, and all I can hear is nothing comes out. Then I hear rah! And this little fucking baby hippo, they call it a pygmy hippo, but it's not, it's a baby hippo, and it was emaciated. It hadn't grown in captivity. It was ran out, and on its back was a capuchin monkey on a saddle, dressed as a cowboy. Right? The hippo took off. And the reason it took off like that, because somebody behind the box stuck a prod in a hole, electric prod. Whoa! Right? And it's belting around the ring. Now, while it's running around the ring, the saddle's going sideways and the monkey's going underneath. It's going sideways. Right? Like this. Fucking hippo. Didn't catch him. But it would have bit him in half.
The lion?
No, the hippo, the baby hippo.
Oh, yeah.
It turned sideways to bite the monkey.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but it couldn't reach him. Thank God, because it done some damage. Little capuchin. And then it bolted straight for the curtains to get out of the ring, to go backstage. But Lewis Palacio, he's the lion tamer. He's standing there like he stopped the hippo. The hippo just hit him in the knees, man. Fucking sent him flying in the air. Again, I'm not doing it. No fucking way I'm doing this. I'm not doing it. No way. Do that. Okay, Johnny. Okay. What about an ostrich? What? An ostrich. We put an ostrich in the box, and then when you pull the string and that comes in, it'll come out and it'll jump over these little fences and then run off. Okay, let's give it a rehearsal. Fair enough. Pull the string, wrap down, still no problem. The ostrich ran out, jumped over the fences, and ran off the other side. And I went, okay, Brian, we'll do that. And he went, oh, fair enough. Lovely, it's a great act. It really is. It's a fantastic act. But the cruelty behind it, there was no cruelty when I was fucking there. I wouldn't have. Then I found out that Ollie the ostrich was being put. Ollie the ostrich was on in the second half, because I bring him out to open up the show, the second part. Boys and girls, when you open the box, found out the ring boys were putting the ostrich in the box in the morning, 2 hours before the show started, and the ostrich is not on until the second part of the show. So it's in that box 4 or 5 hours. Pitch dark. You know, buy the box. And you hear the what the fuck? Open the box, and there's Ollie in the box. What time is it? 11:15 in the morning. Fucking went straight around to their room. Ring boys, they're in there playing cards, what have you. Use cunts. You stop fucking putting that ostrich in there. Right? You put him in fucking just before, 10 minutes before I come out. You put that fucking ostrich in the box. Hey, the fuck are you, man? You want some of this? I'm telling you, you fucking bastards. So I went back to me room, my dressing room, and four of them fucking come in the door. Right, Paddy, we fucking had enough of you. And I had a milk bottle there. Milk. Picked it up. Straight over that head of me. Milk and fucking glass around there. You want to see the face? Gone. Come on, I'm fucking giving you. They knew nothing about my past. Nobody in England knew about my past. Being an ex junkie con. And I can defend myself. I won't take bullshit off anybody. And I'll be honest, I'd rip their fucking nose off their face. But these people didn't know anything about that. Even my girlfriend, the people I met, people I became friends with in England, didn't know my background, didn't know my history, you know. And I kept these covered up a lot. So I never talked about it. But yeah, I put a few people in their places when they tried to take advantage. They got a fucking shock, big time.
You know, I don't like the clown.
Never treat me like a clown, you know what I mean? Don't take me for granted.
Yeah.
You know?
Wow, what I'm listening to your story, you know, your trauma allowed you to see the compassion for animals and suffering.
Yeah, because
you know suffering, you've suffered, and I know that too.
Yeah.
So you went on another journey. You wanted to do some humanitarian work.
Oh, I did. It was the best part of me because
you have a charity there that you've done some work with.
Yeah, the charity, the London charity, the Serious Road Trip, they call it. I have it here for you. Look. Let me see. Here we go. Can you read that? The Serious Road Trip.
The Serious
Right,
Road
now
Trip.
this is official. They were an NGO and they were looking for a clown to go to Romania to entertain children. And then they were also looking to go to a war zone, out to the former Yugoslavia in 1993 during the war, to entertain the refugees. So I thought, yeah, I'll do that, no problem. And I'll train you. So I trained them up as clowns, all the aid workers, I trained them up, turned them into clowns. And when they gave me that t-shirt, I said, oh, that's lovely. We call that an Irish flak jacket. That's what that is, an Irish flak jacket. Because look what they have written on the back. Now, I don't know if the snipers in Yugoslavia can read English, but I certainly was in the shop. But I wore this t-shirt in, let me see, in Yugoslavia, the former Yugoslavia during the war, in Afghanistan during the war, in Chechnya during the war, you know, and I still haven't been shot.
What does it say? Something on the front. Something matters.
Yeah, just matters. Something
matters. That's brilliant. It's
Yeah.
deadly.
The road trip, yeah. Well, they were amazing.
You're in Romania.
Well, I went to Romania in 93. That was the very first tour I did with the road trip.
Was that the Babies of Romania, that charity?
Babies of Romania, they're an Irish charity, run by a bloke called Vinnie Woods.
I've done a dance thing for them in the Rumours nightclub.
Right.
I was in a band called the Rude Boys, and we were
fantastic.
modelling clothes, and it's mental that now me and you are
Yeah, they have fashion shows and stuff to raise funds, I had a couple of mates who actually did a bit of modelling for them, walking down the catwalk, looked really great. But Vinnie Woods, his name was, and he adopted a little Romanian girl, and he also fixed up 2 orphanages. He went all over Ireland, getting volunteers here and all sorts. When I met him in the City Hall Inn, beside the Olympia Theatre, and he was a lighting engineer in there. That was his job there, So that was his local. And then just after Christmas there, 1992, just after Christmas, probably January 93, he comes back from Romania. Now I didn't know the guy from Adam, and he starts passing these black and white photographs around the pub, and people are looking at them, going, and handing them away. They're looking disgusted. So we looked at the photographs, and all I could see is that, my jeez, where would these take us? Is this Auschwitz? Huh? Is that a concentration camp or something? Look at these poor children. No, these were taken last week in Romania. Holy shit, you could see the amasity, you could see, it's just horrible. I hate seeing that type of thing. And then Vinny said to me, he said, are you a brickie or a plumber? Because we're looking for people to come out and fix the place up, the orphanages, they're in bits. And I said, no, I'm a clown. And then he just kind of went, what did you say? I said, I'm a clown. I don't believe this. God must have sent, these are exact words, God must have sent you. Because I had a girl on from London this morning looking for a clown to train them and go to Romania to entertain the children. So he gave me a number. We met up and I said yes. The City Hall Inn let us do our first fundraiser there in City Hall Inn. we had to raise €3,000, and from here in Dublin, and then in London there was money being raised there as well. We're going to buy a combi van, get insurance, travel, all of that to get to Romania for 3 months, tour around, and we did that. And we trained them on the road on the way to Romania. We drove, got ferry to England, ferry to France, then drove from France to Germany, Austria, Hungary, and into Romania. And on the way there, we never stayed in hotels. We stayed in the van all the time. We had a very tight budget. And I trained them. By the time they got to Romania, they could, put a show together with me. And it was fantastic. We done 3 months of that. We got a telegram from America from Patch Adams. Robin Williams did a movie about him.
Oh,
the clown doctor.
What a film. What's that called?
Patch Adams.
It's actually called Patch Adams, isn't it? That was
Well,
amazing.
he sent me a telegram to London saying it was outstanding what I was doing. The world needed more of this and stuff like that.
What an amazing film.
Yeah, amazing, man, absolutely. A lovely guy. Now, I wrote to him there some years back, but he's only got one leg. He had one leg removed there a couple of years ago. But, he's not very well. I don't think he's going to be around for much longer. His institute is called the Gesundheit.
Yeah.
Gesundheit Institute. I'd love to meet him, but some of my colleagues, like Gerard, the other guys I trained from the road trip, have met him and stuff, which was wonderful. But when we got back to London, he said, look, we have a crew out in Yugoslavia. They're bringing aid. They're bringing the food in. And with the success of your show out in Romania, we think it would be fantastic in the refugee camps. Will you go? Yep, no problem. So we're only 3 weeks out of Romania, and now we're back on the road to Yugoslavia and into the refugee camps. And when I first appeared in the refugee camp, there were psychiatrists and psychologists there taking witness accounts and stuff like that from looking after the health of the refugees who just come out, flooded out of Bosnia. Their husbands had been taken off them, all the boys disappeared. Some of the women had been brutalised. And it was just a really grey shadow over the whole place. And this is a lovely brand new hotel on the Adriatic coast. Beautiful, stunning holiday. Lots of Irish people went to Yugoslavia to get married. They went there for their holidays. Yugoslavia very popular with Irish holiday makers, before the war. Stunning place. So when these doctors and psychologists saw me, they went, this is not a clown show. This is a mental health program, because they're looking at the reaction of the children and the adults, which completely changed once I started the show. They're laughing. Yeah. The children are laughing their heads off, but the adults are crying with joy at the sound of the children's laughter and seeing the children laugh. Wow. It boom, 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 hit them straight away.
And laughing triggers opioid receptors in our brain.
That's right.
And it soothes people down.
Yeah, very much.
It's incredible.
Yeah. So that's when I recognised my gift, and I said, screw show business. I'm doing this. So I found show business full of ego and
bullshit.
I have a gift. I recognised it. And I said, okay, that's it. So I gave up professional show business and worked my way towards humanitarian aid, because I had my own aid program now. I had my own mental health program. That was what worked. And so, it just went from 93, 2 tours in 93 in Romania and then Croatia. 94 went to Russia to the orphanages and cancer hospitals, Chernobyl cancer wards. Yeah.
What's
horrific.
That like?
Borstal's for children. I mean, the youngest was 3 years of age in this borstal. Probably abandoned child, nowhere else to put them. Stick them into borstals. All their heads are shaved.
And did you get any support while you were away? Did anyone ever help you out or?
No. Well, we offered counselling and stuff like that. No.
Yeah.
No. I've been asked that question a few times, and people are quite amazed that we weren't offered. I certainly got post-traumatic stress disorder.
I'd imagine.
But I grew up with post-traumatic. I've grown all my life with post-traumatic stress disorder.
Added to the other bundle of shy.
You yourself, you were saying you had a bit of a vicious past. That creates post-traumatic stress in you.
Yeah, 100%.
We grow up with it,
Yeah.
So I was amazed that I'd grown up with PTSD, and there I am in there with an aid for it, trying to solve it, just to relieve it for a certain amount of time.
Relieve,
But
yeah.
I'm making my own worse. You know, quite dodgy places where you're in, you know. And people are very suspicious of you, you know, rightly so. But yeah, Albania, I'd been to Russia, and back into Bosnia Herzegovina, and then Chechnya. Chechnya was crazy. 1997, you know, very, very hard. I have some. Here is a witness report of what happened to people. It's called By All Available Means, you know. These are lists of people that were murdered by Russian soldiers and how they were murdered and stuff like that. Their names and the witnesses. So let's say we have here on this line here we have places of death and circumstances of death. And there we have. Can you read that? They're very small. I can't
I've
read.
got my glasses.
This is how that person.
Shot in the street near house, together with corpse burned.
Corpse burned. Yeah, shot.
Shot at 6 p.m. near the APC column, driving from the north along the road.
Right. APC is an armoured personnel carrier. Yeah. So the Russians, they will be Russian armoured personnel. So she was dragged out, or he was dragged out and was shot and just left on the street.
Wounded by or on the 747, the outskirts, while trying to flee the village under artillery shelling at 3:40 p.m. But ultimately died 3 days later. Oh Jesus, man!
There's lists and lists of these, you know.
It feels like I'm a very visual person.
Yeah, you can see it. I don't want to do that to you actually, because you know, but they know like, lists and lists. And I work with the psychologists who have to take these reports and have to write them down and listen to the witnesses.
Wow.
And then they'd be acting. They'd finish in the camp and then they'd drive back to our compound, and we'd be sitting down at dinner. And of course, me now, I'd be very jolly, so the rest of them, because they've just been to the clown show in the refugee camp, and their energy is high. It's like, wow, it's fantastic, you know. But with these poor guys, young women and young guys, doctors, psychologists, who are taking these witness reports, they're just shake, their shoulders shaking, there's tears coming down their face, they're absolutely trying to eat and they can't, and we just go over and we hug them and hold them, you know. And then they had a day off, these four documenters, I suppose. Documenters of war. It's their job. They have to document it, you know. But they came to the show, and then afterwards, the four of them like hugged me and said, "We are in a refugee camp. You started the show, and then we're not in a refugee camp. You made the background disappear. You made the war disappear. You made and they were crying with joy. And these are French guys, French adults, basically, you know, not refugees. They're taking it, yeah. But the show had the same effect on them as it has on the people. They completely forget just their woes, just that while they forget their woes for an hour and a half, you know. And plus we have cultural exchange, you know, after the show. Would anybody like to sing a song or, you know, play a musical? And of course, the children would do cultural dances. The guitars would come out, whatever, they'd do drum for us, you know, cultural exchange between the people. And they loved that as well, they absolutely loved that. We entertained them, and then they would, a woman would probably sing a lovely song from the old days and you know, reminiscing, you know, it's beautiful. So it always worked, it never, ever failed the show in any place we went. But there was one place in Croatia during the war. We went into a refugee camp. Went into the billet and there was lots of children sitting on the ground, and I was just about to start and I noticed a row of windows, you know, children outside looking in the windows, and I went, hey, hang on a sec, bring those kids in. No. What do you mean no? Bring the kids in. No. They're Muslim. We Bosnian Croat, we don't mix. I said, what do you mean you don't fucking mix? Bring those children in. No, they don't come. They stay there. You do show. You stop. No, I tell them, okay, take these kids and take them outside. And we put them all in a circle and we do the show. No. We don't teach children. They don't mix. They're Muslim. We don't like. I said, you don't like you. I don't like you. And if they don't go out and they don't come in, I'm not doing your show. We're getting out of here now. No, you do a show, and then maybe you go outside and do a show for them. I said, okay, you can piss off. Everybody, pack bags, let's go. And we left. Didn't do a show. The Croat kids, Bosnian Croat kids, were throwing stones at us. The little Muslim kids were blowing kisses. You know? That's the only show I didn't do. That was nasty. But the nastiest experience we ever had was in Afghanistan, outside Kabul. The refugee camps there are wire fences, okay? Then outside those fences, mines. The Yanks and the Brits, mine, right around. There's only one road in, and mine to each side. Big area, they fence off. And they heard the refugees in there. We arrived in there, the people are doing this. Praying, feed me. Give me a drink, feed me. The Brits and the Yanks were fucking starving these people to death. Deliberately. And that's a fact. Every show I've done, I do a bucket trick. I pretend there's water in the bucket. I make the audience think there's water in the bucket. There's no water in the bucket. It's only paper, torn up paper, or maybe even sweets. You know, throw them at them. They think there's water. Now, every show, I've done hundreds and hundreds. Every show, with the bucket. Ready? 1, 2, and they go, every audience, He's going to throw water at me, you know. In Afghanistan, in 2 shows, and it should only happen in 1. Should only happen in 1. In that show in that refugee camp, people are going, the men are doing this, and then the women are running away. The Islamic women in Afghanistan are not allowed to look at white men because their husbands beat them. Yeah? So they ran. All the women are running. When the infidels are coming in, the white men coming in, you see them running, fleeing with their heads down, scarf over their head, and bow down and run, jump, darting into tents, hiding. So the infidel doesn't look upon them, or they don't look upon the infidel, because they'll be beaten. So started the show. I'm doing the bucket trick. 1, 2, 3. They ran forward with their mouths open.
Jesus.
They thought it was water in the bucket.
Oh,
it was a
that
trick.
must have been horrific for you, was it?
Fucking heart broke. It broke right there and then. And then we were out of that camp and onto another one, and it was the exact same thing. Mined all the way around, mines on each side, and just one way in and one way out. And again, feed me, please. Oh my God. So I said to the boys, it was 3 other clowns, 1 English, 2 French with me. No water trick in this show. Not doing the water trick. Johnie, said one of them, it's a joke. We do. And I said, I'm not doing it. All right. And Yo said, I'll do it. And just don't do it. Look what happened last time. Did you see what fucking happened? They did it. And the same thing happened. They ran forward. I didn't finish that show. There was probably another 20 minutes of that show to do. And I got into the van and just sat down. No way. No. Leaving that show, we actually got shot going in the middle of the road. In Afghanistan, white rocks, the rocks are painted white to show that it's been demined. There are no mines here, it's safe to walk around. But if the rocks are painted red, stay the fuck away. Get out, stay away. Because you're going to get blown to pieces, you'll step on them. And millions and millions of mines all over Afghanistan laid by the Russians in the 80s. And then again more millions by the Yanks and the Brits. I saw the terrorists when I went to Afghanistan, and the terrorists were wearing American and British uniforms. They were the terrorists, not the Afghani people. The British and the American invaders were the terrorists. They put people, they emptied the prison and put the people inside shipping containers and parked them out in the desert. Huh?
Jesus.
Yeah. They'll take the bodies out, bury them in the sand, bring the truck back, fill it again, put it out in the desert. With hundreds of men and young boys in it.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Don't see that in the news. You don't see that in the newspaper. Oh, yeah. Oh, they committed war crimes. It's the Brits and the Yanks. It's the NATO. They are the terrorists. And I'm a witness to that. So, yeah.
Tell us about the sweets that you went for one time.
That was in Afghanistan, in Kabul, in the market. This is humanitarian. You don't get paid for this. We don't get paid. Well, you might get a per diem, like $10 off the charity that you're working for that day, because we work with different charities. They'd implement us, and we work for them, and they might give you $10 or $5. It's nothing, but it's something. So we'd always want to buy presents, unusual presents, because you're in foreign countries. Nice to buy a little present for family back home and friends, So we're in the market, and I went, what are they? Sweets, candies. Are they candies? They're sweets. And this is what they were. Where are they now? Where's that thing there? Yeah, there. You want to show that to your viewers? I don't know how close you have to get to the camera or whatever. But these are the sweets that we're selling in the market. And they're bonbons. They're like bonbons, but not bonbons, bonbons. Osama bin Laden kulfa balls. So that's what the kids were eating.
Kulfa balls.
Kulfa balls, yeah.
Holy shit.
Osama bin Laden kulfa balls. A box of them. So I bought a box of them to give to me friends. And that's the box. Mad. Crazy.
What an experience.
Yeah. Very funny.
What an experience to go through all that,
Yeah, there was still a lot of years left of me, yeah. I want more!
And you then come back, when was your last trip?
My last tour was in 2005 to Sri Lanka after the tsunami. Remember the tsunami in 2004? It was Boxing Day, actually, St. Stephen's Day, when that wave hit. And I'm lucky it was a holiday, because had it been a school day, all the schools on the coast would have been filled with children.
Wow.
It wasn't. It was a holiday. Thank God for that. Because had it been a school day when that wave came, so many more children would have been wiped out. So many more. Much more even than adults, because in Sri Lanka, so many schools around the coast. And I have many photographs of probably 60, 70 schools demolished by the wave. Yeah. Sri Lanka, it was different. Even it was half a war zone, because Sri Lankans were fighting the Tamil Tigers in the north. Yeah, but when the wave hit, it stopped the war because it wiped both sides out. Mad, huh? Act of God. And that's another thing. The refugees saw it as an act of God. It wasn't a war like in the south. The people that the wave hit, 40,000 were killed in Sri Lanka when that wave hit. But they saw it as an act of God. They didn't. It wasn't a war. It wasn't put upon them. They just saw, oh God, the wave. And we went right around the coast of Sri Lanka, right around where the worst hit place. It just was destroyed. And one of the things that upset me a lot was the refugees wanted to move back, because a lot of them were fisher folk. I don't know if you know the Sri Lankan fishermen, but they have these big branches, huge big branches, with a thing coming out, and they bury them. They go out far into the sea, and they put it in the sand, and then they climb up it and they sit on it and they fish. Yeah. Until the tide goes out again, then they get down and pull the pole up, and it's a certain depth of water, and they like to measure it with their thing, but they put it right down in there, and then they climb up and they sit. It's like sitting on a branch of a tree. They fish, and they lived on the beach in little huts and little makeshift whatever. And they were there for centuries. And the wave came, washed them all away. When those people, the ones that survived, came back, told the government we're moving back onto the beach, the government told them, feck off. We're putting up 5-star hotels here now. Get lost.
Fuckers.
Yeah. Absolutely, yeah. Well, Sri Lanka is screwed now, right today. Sri Lanka is in bits. The government's fallen, right at the present, this day. That's what we're talking. Sri Lanka is very bad, but it's a beautiful country, but again screwed up because of that. I've seen the pylons, electrical pylons, rolled up like balls of wool. The wave was so strong, and then we go 4 or 5 miles inland because there's so many lovely parks, and a lot of the parks there's no grass, it's just sand. 5 miles inland, you can be walking in the park, but it's sand. You think you're walking, on the beach, but it's because the sand came in so far.
Wow. Come here, do you know something that was sprung to my mind there? You talked about, the relief that these kids and people would have in war-torn areas and all. Does clowning, I know from you having your own pain and trauma, does clowning give you relief?
Well, it does, because I get that from the reaction of my audience. You know, it's like a wave of love, that laughter. So I'm watching it daily. You know, people who have nothing to laugh at are laughing. You know, so I feel that. Yeah. But you also feel the other side of it. You can feel the joyous side there. But going into a town, or entering a war zone, the hairs in the back of your neck rose up, because the fear is palpable.
Palpable.
Very palpable. I'd say that, I don't know, not everybody feels it. Some people aren't sensitive to it at all, you know.
Well, when we have trauma, you have trauma, I have trauma. Like even when I worked in Weefield prison.
Right, yeah.
Just going in the gates.
Gotcha. Yeah.
The hairs at the back of me neck up, my stomach.
You're very sensitive, man. The bubbles.
Jesus.
Yeah, that's stress.
But then once I get in there, game on, you know. I'm alright with trauma. I've worked in difficult areas, whether it be prisons and door work and shit. Because as though I'm very sensitive, I'm also very hardened as well.
Yeah, of course, yeah. And that'd be the last resort, violence, you know what I mean? But, I don't like bullies. I can't stand them. I can't stand people who take advantage of other people. Can't stand
Absolutely.
them, you know. And you're supposed to know, love God, not like violence. But I have no problem battering a bully. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I've no problem.
And then you could, I suppose you could turn around to God and say, I'm sorry, please forgive me. Thank you, I love you. You know what I mean? Could do that, couldn't you?
Well, we are. Look, Johnny, we are the dark and the light.
We are indeed. I don't like the darkness, but it's there. It's there.
Oh no, it's there. Like I've learned to embrace it.
And you have to keep it at bay.
Do you know what we never touched on, and you never mentioned in your chat?
Yeah.
That mother-in-law that gave you the money. I know you watched this in one of your videos.
Right.
You said that was the greatest gift you ever got.
She got me. She got me out of there. She got me out of that vicious circle. Now it took me a while to actually understand that was the best thing.
Oh, of course.
Didn't happen there then. You know. So.
But what can be so painful can turn out to be so.
So yeah. I recognised once I woke up, when I woke up in 1984. Yeah, after reading that book, Bring Out the Magic in Your Mind. Fantastic. Well, that woke me up.
And do you know what I'm also alarmed about as well? Like, there's a huge AIDS and HIV epidemic back in them days.
Yeah.
And you were an intravenous drug user.
Yeah.
And you got through that.
Yeah, I got out. Well, I think I got out before the HIV hit. 82, I'd say. 1981, 82, you know. Even though HIV was rampant in the States and stuff, I don't think it actually had come to Ireland yet, had?
More
probably 83, 84.
Yeah.
It was here, was it?
Isn't that a blessing, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So what's what's on the cards for you now? What work you doing? What's going on for you?
Well, I've written my book. It's getting edited at the moment. It's called The Funny Mentalist. Funny because I'm funny, and mentalist because I'm mental. But no, funny. It's a pun on the fundamentalist, you know. But I've called it The Funny Mentalist. It's getting edited at the moment. And I also have a one-man show, theatre show, to go with that book. But I've done the theatre show in Smock Alley this year, and I've only done it once. And it's an amazing show. It's me in front of a screen. I'm showing you my journey, basically. It's all on the screen, and I have my props around me and stuff. Now I have carpal tunnel syndrome. Now I have arthritis, so I can't unicycle. I can't juggle with clubs. There's a lot I can't do, but I can talk and I can be funny. So I'm still clowning.
Yeah.
You know, you can't stop me being funny. But I'd like to get that show back on. I'm looking for a producer at the moment. Yeah, it's a first class show. Plus, I'm a member of Couple of Clowns. My clown partner, Richard Kane, fantastic clown. We have a flea circus. You ever see a flea circus?
No.
Oh man, we have a flea circus. It's fantastic. Well, we are a Couple of Clowns, and we went busking during the pandemic, put smiles on people's faces. Yeah, great crack. Went all over the place. We did during the pandemic. Just
having a crack.
Yeah, having a crack.
You know, like you always say, you know, when you meet people, you know, are they suited to their job?
Well,
You are so suited to your job.
I feel it, but that's I've had so much training. You see, that's what it all is. It's training and experience.
Training
Experience.
in trauma.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
your pain has been your greatest potion. You know, you're
Absolutely,
so
yeah.
the kindness in your eyes, the words, the genuine love in your heart. You're doing it as a volition rather than a training and a profession. You had to go and do the
But
training.
I couldn't do it without the training. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and it's incredible. You're an incredible human being, Johnny.
Thank you. Well, I know I'm a compassionate human being, but it took a while to recognise that. And once you do, you know, the world's your oyster, basically. I don't want to hurt that, mean no wrong or harm to anybody. But these days, in this woke generation, you know, you have to be careful what you say these days. You know what I mean?
I remind myself every day I don't want to hurt, harm, or cause anyone any grievance.
No.
And if I do, that was not my intention.
That's
And I'm
not
really
intention, no,
sorry.
never.
I
Yeah.
never, like, whether I say him, he, her, she, whatever,
Yeah,
or
yeah.
whatever I say to people, I would never intentionally go out to hurt people. And if I did, I'm really, really sorry. And that helps me a lot.
Yeah, yeah. I'd also like people to be aware of what's going on in the world. There's too much war. There's too much of it, and it's all coming from America. You know, America they're about to invade Haiti at the moment. Also Ethiopia, Taiwan. You know, they're just out of Ukraine and out of Afghanistan. I mean, come on, cop on. They are the terrorists. They are the terrorists. America and Great Britain.
Come here. So if people want to find you or want to hire you, where do they get you, or how do they get in contact with you?
Well, if you want to put up my email address, quite welcome to. It's clownjohnnyk at gmail.com. Yeah. I don't really do kids' parties anymore. So there's no point in people trying, would you do me kids' party? Because I don't do that. Like I said, I have arthritis, I have carpal tunnel syndrome, but I now have another clown partner. He does all the skills, but I do all the stupidity. You know what I mean? It's a wonderful meeting of clown skills and stuff like that.
Brilliant.
You know, so we're Cooper Clowns. We've great pop-up shows. We can perform in a park or a garden, perform on stage, perform them anywhere basically.
Right.
But the flea circus is fantastic. We're in Access Ballymun Theatre, hopefully in December, doing the flea circus.
Deadly.
Yeah.
Deadly.
So next year, I plan it to be a big year, you know, for the Funny Mentalist anyway, for my stage show, for my book.
Right.
And I also want an exhibition of all my photographs and videos and stuff. Got a lot of stuff that people would be very interested in seeing. You know, I've sent you a couple of videos. I hope you've liked them.
Yeah, I love your work. I love you.
If you want to send any photographs or something you want to put up, or an excerpt that you like, you have my permission to do that.
Thanks,
okay.
Come here. I ask people at the end of all the interviews, what's the one thing you would like people to take away after listening to this interview, and what would you like for people to take away after listening to this?
To know that there is a God, and that they are unique. You yourselves are all unique. We are unique. We have the best of everything in us. Just love. Learn to love, especially yourself. And laugh a lot. It's good to laugh. Really, I suppose, you know, I don't know. It's hard to answer questions like that on the spot. I leave here now until I think of something really brilliant, and I want to come back and say, oh, no minute.
And then, you know what? Yeah, and I appreciate that. It is a hard one, but what you've
be
said.
Be kind to others. I mean, you know.
You demonstrated in all that you've sold. You told a story, and all your story was laced in kindness, humanity, love, laughter, all the best medicine. Like, I've worked in rehab for 12 years in trauma, you know, and I know from working with patients, the greatest entry in and the connection to human is humanity, laughter, kindness, love. You can have all the therapies in the world, you can have all the greatest medicine, but if you're not kind, you're not compassionate, you're not understanding, forgiving, patient, it's very hard to get in.
About it.
And you embody all that, man.
Yeah, I'm very privileged, and I wouldn't change any of it for the world. Not a thing. You know what I mean?
Definitely. And it's funny.
So you got to go through it. You know, it's all life experience. But you know, I remember being banged up in the joy. And I have a memory of this, and it's very strange. But I remember lying in me Flowery, as they call it, Flowery Dell cell.
Flowery Dell.
The Flowery Dell, isn't it? You lying in me Flowery on me Todd. And I have this memory that I was lying there going, I'm going to write about this someday. I'm going to write about it. Now I don't know where this came from. This memory. It only came out a few weeks ago from reading this book. A Message for Humanity. You have to talk to Sarah. You have to talk. Oh, she's amazing.
I'd love to get a copy of that.
Yeah. Did bring you a copy? I'll come back this afternoon with a copy for you.
Don't be
Alright?
sorry.
I'll put it in the letterbox. No problem.
I'll drop down to.
Yeah. I'll make sure you get one of the copies.
Right, and you sat there lying there going, one day I'm going to write
Yeah,
about this shit.
I'm going to write about this someday. I'm going to write about it. And I don't know where that came from. Very strange. And in the training unit, I wrote a little sketch because the Strand players come in. Yeah? The Strand players come in. They did a play called I Do Not Like Thee, Dr. Fell. Yeah? By a guy named Sheridan. Irish playwright called Sheridan wrote it. Anyway, all these actors come in, they put on a play, and the drama teacher said, would you like to put a little sketch on before the play? And I said to the 3 or 4 guys, let's get together and we write something mad. So I wrote out this sketch called The Pawn Shop. Now all it was, I had to dress me up as the girl. It was a bloke, a boy, a guy and a girl, and they walk into a pawn shop and they say to the guy behind the counter, or the girl takes off her gauge and she says, here mister, is that ring 18 carats? And the guy, pawnbroker, takes the ring and goes, no, actually, this is 24 carats, and it's also a ring that has been stolen out of my house last week. And they wouldn't run out of the shop. But that's it. She's saying to him, that's not bleeding 18. It is, it's bleeding 18 carats. The two of them are arguing. But it was so funny. They dressed me up as a girl, right? And I'm with one of the other guys. We walk out on stage. The fucking place erupted. 2 guys got up out of the front row. Grabbed me because I had socks.
Yeah.
Ooh, another guy got behind me and started going
Oh,
home with me. I'm telling you that crack. And I was out with me bicky.
Yeah.
Because they get better years in prison. You know what I mean? And I was smoking the dragon, but didn't bang up in the joy. I smoked, chased the dragon in the joy, yeah? In the training unit. Be chasing the dragon. The guys in there, my buddies, be from, the inner city, but to be from places where, and they drug dealers, and they get the best in, you know. We have one guy, we used to call him, what was his nickname? Not Lance, you know what Lance is, a fucking, what was he called? The incester. Because he'd always get visits from his sisters. Every week, his sister come. It's always a different woman.
And he kissed them.
Yeah. His sisters.
But he'd kiss the person.
Huh?
He'd kiss the person.
Well, in the training unit, you're alone in a room with your visit.
Yeah.
You know?
Right.
So there'll be hookers coming in.
Oh, fuck.
It's my sister. Having loads in the blade room, and they bring in the gear. It's no problem. The screws didn't search in the training unit when they're leaving the visiting room. You're in there on your own in a room. Mad.
Mental.
And and this guy, how my sister's coming to see me. He's wearing bras and coming in.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Fantastic. So and we get the best of heroin. But that play and my piece was in the newspapers the next morning. And the headline was Strand players a hit at the Joy, and guests of the nation enjoy Dr. Fell or something like that. You know, I have the headlines. I went and researched and found them, and there's little things in there. That's me. So it's in the book. You know, it's all research. But,
deadly.
But
I can't
the
wait
crack,
to read it.
but misspent youth. You know,
misspent youth.
We need to change the education system as well. You know, the way children are taught, the way we're taught, brought up. We're not taught love, respect. you know.
So let that be our last message.
Yeah.
Practice love, kindness.
Absolutely.
Johnie K, you're an absolute diamond. You're a beautiful human being, man.
Thank
You
you very
really
much.
are.
Likewise.
I'm
Likewise.
Frank.
And yous are lovely as well. Yous are all lovely.
Frank Ward.
Oh, Frank, yeah.
Frank has been a guiding light to me.
Yeah.
I interviewed my mentor, Jeff Thompson, which I'm going over to him in a couple of weeks. And I didn't realise when I interviewed Frank before Jeff that Frank talked about it.
Yeah.
And when I interviewed Jack, Frank was like, I fucking told you about him. And I was like, I'm like Dory from Nemo sometimes, right? And I let Jeff know. Jeff sent a message. So then he puts me on to Sam Miller. Then I get on to one of the hooded men, Francie McQuiggan, and now you.
Francie, yeah.
Like, he's been so good to me. So Frank, look, I love you, pal. You're
Right
just
for
the
Frank.
best.
Fair play.
Legend. Guys, so that's it.
Yeah.
That leads me to say all of my interviews are brought to you by the wonderful Noel Riley from Rooney Media Graphics. All me design, all me artwork. You up there? He's from my area. He's me legend. He's me mate, Noel Riley. The girls from Shannon's Hope Line. I want to get a plug in for. I had a t-shirt there, or no, a hat. I don't know where the hat is gone. I had a hat there that I wanted. Hold on. I'm gonna get it. I want to get this hat. It must be said. This is called Lunar Home. The lads from Little Miss Libo, Dan and Sean, that's their brand. They gave me this. I forgot to wear it. I was meant to wear it at the start. So I want to give the lads a shout. They're just good lads. They're starting their own business. Support your own.
Come on, you go take it.
You up the lads. Come here. If anything in this interview impacted your mental health or your struggle, please tell someone. Be open and honest about it. Share it with them. And, it may help you and it may help other people to hear you talk about your vulnerabilities. As Johnny says right the way through the interview, be kind, be gentle, be loving, be a positive light in the world, you know. And if you can help somebody by bringing some smile and laughter, do that, you know.
Yeah.
Laughing is just deadly medicine. I use a lot when I do workshops. I bring in humour. I start off with a bit of crack. Geez, where's your hair gone? Fell out. He has alopecia. Right, so there you go. Go on. In all your day, mind your little self. Have a fantastic day. Cheers. Bonjour.
Bye-bye.
Take care. Bye.
I will run, I will climb, I will soar. I'm undefeated. Oh, jumping out of my skin, pull the cord. Yeah, I believe it. Oh, the past is everything we were. Don't make us who we are. So I'll dream until I make it real, and all I see is stars. It's not until you fall that you fly. When your dreams come alive, you're unstoppable. Take a shot, chase the sun, find the beautiful. We will glow in the dark, turning dust to gold, and we'll dream